everybody, welcome back to 5 Minute Sickle Cell Lessons. My name is Marissa Kors. I am a fifth generation sickle cell patient and a patient advocate. Today we are talking about dactylitis, better known as swollen hand and foot syndrome. Dactylitis is basically the inflammation of the fingers and toes. It is bilateral. It is found in both the hands and the feet. Generally in children, somewhere between 6 to 8 months, and it subsides around 4 to 6 years old. This does not mean that it goes away completely. This does not mean that you cannot have dactylitis as an adult, because you very much can. It's just that it is one of the early manifestations of sickle cell. It's found more frequently in children who are sickle cell SS or sickle beta thal. This, again, does not mean that children who have trait or other types of sickle cell, such as sickle cell SC, do not get dactylitis. Just they don't have it as frequently. Generally, because it is a manifestation of sickle cell in children before they are speaking, in all honesty, I feel like this is the illness's way of training both parent and child in learning the art of observation. Your child can't talk to you. They can't say, "Mom, this hurts." But they most definitely will do things such as not hold a bottle or not hold their favorite toy. It may even be a symptom of an actual crisis that is happening in their limbs. So it may start with the swollen hands. They can't hold a bottle, but if your child generally has a bottle in one hand, a toy in the other, and let's just say you offer them something else, and they put said toy under their arm to grab whatever you're offering them, if they can't do that motion, then these are signs that something else is happening. Be clear. If your child is in pain, they're going to let you know. There is no cry like a child with sickle cell. It is absolutely heart-stopping and gut-wrenching. They definitely will find a way to tell you. But dactylitis, it's interesting in that it can be as painful as it looks, but it can also be just as frustrating as it looks. And what I mean by that is that just the inability to maybe put on their shoes so that they can stand, or the inability to really hold on to that bottle or that favorite toy because their fingers are swollen, does not necessarily mean, though, that they are in a significant amount of pain. And again, they'll find a way to tell you how much pain that they're in. But generally, if your child has swollen hands, swollen fingers, or swollen toes, you can use hot packs, heating pads. You can soak them in hot baths with Epsom salt. You can give them things like baby anti-inflammatory medications like ibuprofen, and of course take them to see their pediatrician, and the pediatrician can advise you on further steps to take. But this is very much, in many ways, sickle cell's way of training both the parent and the child. It's training the child to, unfortunately, begin to develop those life skills of um, learning to learning how to continue uh, through their day, through life, while sickle cell is doing its thing. As I said before, if your child is used to holding a bottle in one hand and a toy in the other, and then suddenly their fingers are so swollen that it's difficult for them to do it, they will simply just adjust. And sickle cell is very much about being able to adjust in a very short amount of time. Like your mind does not even have time to fully react, but your body most definitely will. And you learn how to do things with both hands. You learn how to um, you learn how to get through the pain and work through the pain and work through um, the physical problems that sickle cell brings about. And this is just one of those things that you have to get through. So as a parent, though, it's also one of those things. Your child can't speak to you necessarily, they're 6 months old, but you begin to look for signs. You begin to inspect them. You begin to observe. Are they putting weight on their left foot more than their right? Did they change hands? Do they normally hold their bottle with their right hand and now they're holding their bottle with their left hand? Do they normally put that second toy under their right arm so that they can have a free hand to take whatever it is that you might be offering them? But today they're putting it under the other arm. All of these are very quick adaptations that we have to learn how to make, and starting as early as possible, because when you start to deal with like real serious pain as you get older, and you kind of have to start making choices. Am I going to stay at school? Do I need to stay at school because I want to finish something, or I want to, go do X, Y, and Z with my friends at school? We learn how to adapt very quickly to pain, very quickly to inflammation. And this is just sort of one of those first lessons. And as I said earlier, um, this is not something that ends at 4 to 6 years old. Swollen hand and foot syndrome is something that we deal with on and off throughout life. Although now that I'm in my 40s, I will say it seems to come back later in life, like after 35, 37. But to this day, my mother inspects my hands. My mother looks at my hands and has me hold them out and flip them over. She feels each one of my fingers and will ask me, does this hurt? Does that hurt? What's wrong with your finger? Why does it look like that? So it's very much an early manifestation, but a training in what is to come later down the line with this illness. As always, thank you. And if you have questions, DM me. And remember that sickle cell is your superpower.